My name is Kumagai, and thank you for your attendance. Today, I'd like to start my presentation for the product and the service, and I would like to introduce the management team for today's products. And for the products, we are going to have Swiss headquarters, and Swiss headquarters will be the central management for those two products. And GMO Z.com Switzerland, and who is the president, Mr. Okumura. And my name is Okumura. I'm in charge of mining business in Swiss headquarters. And the sales and the marketing director, Mr. Nakamura. And my name is Nakamura, also from Swiss headquarters. I'm in charge of sales and marketing. And those two gentlemen will be the top management for those two products. And thank you for your greetings. Then let me go down to the presentation. Here you see the photo of GMO Miner B2, and that's the brand new product. And later on, I would like to set up some time for you to take pictures. And GMO Internet Group started our internet business 23 years ago. Right now, we have 9.1 subscribers, and also the infrastructure service for the web content. And speaking about internet, and internet is to remove the barriers for information so that the people and the companies can change, and like Arab Spring, and it also changed how the society works. So I think that right now there is a major change, and which, just like internet, has caused the major change in the communities, because the money and the currency is something deeply rooted in our day-to-day life. So GMO internet has been quite active for the virtual currency business. Mr. Satoshi Nakamoto, we don't know whether he's a real person, and he published the papers back in 2008, and that was the basis for the blockchain technologies. And decentralization is one of the core ideas of his papers. And Lehman shock and caused because of some of the disadvantage of the capitalism and the centralized society. So after seeing that Lehman shock, so Mr. Nakanishi came up with the ideas of the decentralized and distributed systems. And as for the machines, Nowadays, 80% or 90% of the shares are held by the Chinese manufacturers. And after seeing virtual currency market, there are two changes. The basic idea is for the decentralized, but as for the actual operation is heavily centralized. And another issue is that we are a Japanese company, and Japan has been based on the monozukuri concept. But Japanese companies, none of them has ever participated in the manufacturing of those virtual currency mining machines. So the one of the solution is GMO Miner B2. That's a brand new machine for Bitcoin mining. And I'd like to talk about the specifics of that machine. And we developed the mining ASIC GMO 72B. Here I have that in my hand. And I'd like to set up some time for a photo session later. And we have designed the semiconductor and with the logo of GMO.
次のスライドお願いします。
And for this semiconductor, and we are using the cutting edge technology node 7 nanometer process. And with the 7 nanometer cutting edge process, as for mining machine, that's the first in the world. Because the 16 nanometer or 12 nanometer SFC, so not so integrated, not so the scaled as 7 nanometer. 7 nanometer has the advantage for the much better power efficiency leading to a more productivity because you can take more chips from one silicon wafer. So the cutting edge technologies always provides some of the advantage to the users. And our mining ASIC supports SHA-256. So specifically that supports Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. And those two coins are for the most of the market capitalization. So we expect more profitability. And this machine has the hashing power 24 terahash per second per machine. In other words, it enables 24 trillion times of the calculations per second. And compared to a competitive product, 13.5 tera or 14 terahash is on the average, so almost a double, 24 terahash per sec. And the higher the hashing power, the more advantage we can provide to the users. To be more specific, compared to the other company, we have more hash power per machine. And the first advantage, with the same hash power, you can save the installation space by half. And in other words, for example, and you may use a data center or any other services, and you are supposed to pay just half the rent. And we are going to show cloud mining center in the Nordic countries, and the construction cost will also be half at the same time. And you can tell and how installation work is complicated. And the installation work time itself will be half, because the device and the equipment will be half. So virtual currency and the internet. So in everything, speed matters. So installation work is half. For example, we are now operating as many as 20,000 machines, and some of our customers are operating 15,000 machines, so the speed is always matters. And another advantage, our machines can support up to 32 machines in a daisy chain. And the competitors provide only a one-to-one connection. But we have Ethernet, two Ethernet ports, so we can have the daisy chain connections up to 32 machines. So which means that the network cost will be 1 over 32. And the network, you always need investment. But if you have up to 32 machines daisy chain, and the network cost per machine will be 1 over 32. And we have 20,000 machines, and the power is somewhere around several hundred million yen. But if you can reduce the network cost 1 over 32, you can imagine what extent of cost reduction you can get. And the network cost, you can enjoy the reduction up to 1 over 55. And as for the power consumption, mining machine, and after you start business, you understand. In the usual business, labor cost and advertising cost is the most of the cost component. But as for the mining business, power consumption is the highest. For example, 20 yen per 1 kilowatt hour in Japan, and in Russia, per 1 kilowatt hour, just 1 cent. So, and in Nordic countries, per 1 kilowatt hour, probably 5 to 6 cents. And in Canada and the US, we can find just on the same level around 4, 5 or 6 cents per kilowatt hour. So, and the power consumption can be reduced by 20% by using a GMO miner B2. So this should be the most power efficient mining machines in the world. And GMO miner B2 and 24 terahash per second, and that's operate on the 1950 unit. And the others may be selling power source unit separately, but we are providing the PSU unit with the machines that operates within the voltage range between 100 to 240 volt. But if you operate around 100 volt, you have the lower hashing power, so it is always recommended for you to operate around the 200 volt. And then another advantage, and the softwares can be updated online. And the second, we are providing API so you can monitor the machines operation online. And last year, there was a news around December in Iceland, and many mining machines were stolen. Mining machine is a money generating machine, so they are exposed to the high risk of theft. So the theft itself may not be prevented, but once it is stolen, we can detect where that machine is located. And just like when you lose iPhone, you can tell where it is. And as for the mining machine, it's a highly dense machine, and it has so many semiconductor chips, so that generates heat. So if you're mining at your home, and probably you do not need any heater even during the winter. But when it generates heat, leading to a higher failure rate. So our machine is equipped with the temperature sensors so as to prevent overheating situations. So when the temperature goes to the threshold, hushing speed will be coordinated so as to cool down. And we are also going to provide mining pool. We are providing mining pool, and we are going to provide GMO pool. And of course you can connect yourself to the other mining pool. And the warranty period is quite similar to the others, 180 days. After then, the support will be charged. And during the warranty period, and the send-back shipping cost should be borne by customers. And after the warranty period, and the shipping cost will be on the customers. And GMO Miner B2 has been based on the Japanese semiconductor technologies design know-how. So I want you to consider of purchasing of those new machines. And as for the sales, it will take place on the 6 p.m. Tonight on the website. And as for price, and we have the production law because we should order the semiconductors at a certain package level. So the sales will be announced for every month, and the price will be decided for each month. Just like the other mining machines, and manufacturing cost difference will lead to the different lot and different the number of machines to be produced, and the cost per machine will be different. And also depending on the Bitcoin's price level, so seeing the supply and demand situations, we are going to decide the price for each month. And we are going to provide information of the new price over the web or the official SNS. So please follow the information. And at present, and we receive the inquiries from so many potential customers, and we actually get orders more than our production capacity. So when we have a stable production, and we should conduct drawing to select the customers to purchase the machines. But for especially the customers, those who attended the customer briefing and would like to provide some preferred treatment so that you can get the machines for sure. And Mr. Nakanishi's basic idea is decentralization. So we do not want to see the situations of the concentration of customers at certain regions. So, and I would like to provide the customers, those who are distributed all over the world. But if you attend this customer briefing and would like to provide some preferable, favorable treatment over those customers, those who order just via web. And I think you have the attendance code. And if you attach those 4-digit figures plus sharp GMO when you enter your order in the entry order form, and you will get the favorable treatment in the drawing situations. This is the sales and payment cycle for each month. and 10th day of every month will be the deadline, and the noon will be the deadline of placing orders, and the result of drawing will be announced at 6 p.m. on the 10th day of the month, and the payment deadline shall be 3 p.m. on the 15th day of each month, and the shipment will start around the end of October this year. And for July, and we are going to open the website, and that's opening at 6 p.m. And for June, and June 10th falls on Sunday, so the order placement deadline will be the next business day, so June 11th noon is the deadline for you to place orders, and the drawing results will be announced at 6 o'clock June 11th, and the payment shall be made by 3 p.m. on June 15th. And as for the payment method, you can use Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, or you can pay in US dollars. And all of those brand new machines are being sold from GMOZ.com, Switzerland. And for small caveats, GMO Miner B1 has yet to be sold, and GMO Miner B2 is still in a tape-out process. We are waiting for a semiconductor wafer is ready, and we have completed the sufficient testing for the Miner B1. But as for the semiconductors for B2 will be ready in September or so. So that is why we are going to start the shipment around the end of October. Since this is the very first product from us, so there might be some minor change for the specification, designs, and some of the shipment timings. And first, I'd like to answer the FAQ, list of FAQ. And I would like to answer some of those list of the FAQ. First, we do not set any minimum order unit, so you can order just from one machine. And as for the shipment volumes, we are not going to disclose, and we are not going to provide any volume discount. And volume discount is not an option for us. And we have been inquiries and requests for agencies. But for now, we are going to provide only direct selling models. And the partnership, we are now in the process of constellation. And if you order more than a threshold, for example, more than 5,000, and we are going to assign dedicated the sales rep. And we made an announcement for last year, and as for the board standalone sales, is now under study and about the possibilities, and no the on-loan machines available. And we are not going to provide any one-to-one the comparison analysis data. So this concludes my presentation for GMO Miner B2.